Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to our Dharma with streaming. So in today's class, we are going to continue to discuss about the Noble Eightfold Path. Last week, we already start with the discussions of the Noble Eightfold Path, the wisdom, that element, which include the right understanding of you and right thoughts and or intentions. So I would like to highlight a few points, review again to let us recall back what are the important parts in practicing the Noble Eightfold Path. So in Noble Eightfold Path, there are 8 paths whereby it categorized into 3 elements. These 3 elements are moral conduct, mental discipline, and wisdom. And the 8 paths are the right understanding or view, right thoughts or intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. And last week, we discussed about the wisdom category, whereby it involved the right understanding or view and right thoughts or intention. And I would like to emphasize again is that the practice of the Eightfold Path, it should not be taught that the 8 categories of the path are divided of the path should be followed and practiced one after the other in the numerical order, as given in the usual list above. It should not be in a way practiced whereby one after another and after another. It should be developed more or less simultaneously as far as possible according to the capacity of each individual. So they are linked together and each helps the cultivation of the others. So first is that they should not be practiced one after another. It should be practiced simultaneously. And also most important is that as according to the individual capacity. This is very important when we practice the Eightfold Path. And I would like to go to talk about the wisdom category, which we review about the wisdom category in the right understanding of you. So right understanding of you is to have the right concept and right idea. One concept can change a person's life. The objective of learning the Dharma and cultivate ourselves is to correct the mistakes and our bad habitual tendency. And this is why the rule is very important in the teachings. There are many interpretations or explanations of the right view, but in summary, right view encompasses observation that lead us away from delusion and wrong view. It is the wisdom that truly comprehends cause and effect. And it is the right understanding of the 3 Dharma seal, the 4 Noble Truths, and the 12 links of dependent origination. So a lot of people ask me is that, Venerable, how should we start to learn Buddhism? The first thing is that you should have an in-depth understanding about the 4 Noble Truths, the 12 links of dependent origination, and the 3 Dharma seal. They are all about the cause and effect. And when we have this understanding, basically this is the right view or understanding. The next is the right thoughts or intention. Right thoughts is always known as right determination, right differentiation, right awareness, or right intentions. When our right view is strengthened, our thoughts will not have anger and harmfulness that will arise. And this is the right thoughts. Right thoughts means to not have thoughts of greed, anger, and ignorance. and it will help us to distinguish defilement. In Buddhism, we emphasize that in all beings, we have these three poisons. They are the greed, anger, and ignorance that bring us to have more suffering in our life. So we have to ask ourselves is that, do I want to reduce the suffering? If I want to reduce the suffering, then I must be firm in my cultivation on how to resolve the situation of suffering. And we must always contemplate the right Dharma, which I mentioned earlier about the understanding of the Four Noble Truths, 3 Dharma Seal, and 12 links. And also we must possess the mind of gentleness, compassion, purity, and most important, free from greed, anger, and ignorance. This is something that we need to practice every day, every moment in our life. And one day you will realize that your unhappiness, your suffering will reduce and reduce in your life. You're still facing with the challenge, but the suffering feeling will reduce. And today, we are going to proceed to discuss about the second category called the ethical conducts. So this ethical conduct is built on the vast conceptions of universal love and compassion for all living beings. And this is the Buddha's teaching, the basic Buddha's teachings. Unfortunately, there are many scholars forget this great ideal of the Buddha's teaching. And they indulge in only dry philosophical and metaphysical teachings and research. And they start to talk and write about Buddhism. So a lot of people do not regard the teachings of the Buddha as something about our life. They start to study about the teachings, do research, looking into the meaning of the words or the paragraph, but never relate to our daily life. So unfortunately, it becomes something about knowledge, not about practice, not about cultivation. So in Buddhism, it's important to really understand what is the objective and passion of the Buddha. Why he continued his teachings for so many years until the last day of his life. He was still teaching. Why he did so many things? Why he keep on teaching? He wants us to understand the truth and liberate out from suffering. So, the ethical conduct in Sanskrit is called Shila. And Shila, in English, the translation is called precepts. And it is built in the concept of universal love and compassion for all living beings, not just human beings. It's all living beings, including the animals, the insects, or the germs. And the Buddha basically mentioned that his teachings are for the good of many, for the happiness of the many, out of compassion for the world. So I emphasize here, do you want to learn Buddhism in an academic way? Or do you want to learn Buddhism that can help you in your daily life? If you want to learn Buddhism in an academic way, then you can keep doing research and write a lot of paper, a lot of writings or books, but you will not liberate out from suffering. But if you want to look into the path of cultivation and to lead to the end of liberation, then take the teachings from the Buddha as part of your life, that you live with it every moment, every second. So according to Buddhism, for a man to be perfect, there are two qualities that he should develop equally, which are the compassion, the karuna, on one side, and wisdom, prajna, on the other side. Here, compassion represents love, charity, kindness, tolerance, and such noble quantities of the emotional side, or quality of the heart, while wisdom should stand for the intellectual side of, or the quality of the mind. If one develops only the emotional, neglecting the intellectual, one may become a good-hearted fool. Will we develop only the, while to develop only the intellectual side and neglecting the emotional may turn one into a hard-hearted intellect without feeling for the others. Therefore, to be perfect, one has to develop both equally. That is the aim of the Buddhist way of life, and its wisdom and compassion are inseparably linked together, as we shall see later. So, what does this mean here? Which means that in order to practice Buddhism in our body, speech, and mind, we should have these two qualities: the compassion in our heart, and also the wisdom in our mind. We can't just apply one. Because if we have the compassion, we have love, the kindness, the tolerance, or the to do charities to help other people. But if we don't have the wisdom, sometimes we will end up in helping people to create more bad karma. It's become a kind, good-hearted fool. We are not helping other people. It's just like people say that in order to catch the fish for that person, why don't you teach that person to catch fish? Right? If we keep on catching fish and feed that person, the person will be lazy. The person will rely on us. They can't survive without us. Then why don't we teach them how to catch the fish, and they make a decision whether they want to catch the fish themselves and eat it, or they want to starve to death. That's their choice of life. Or if a person just learn the wisdom, the prajna, but have no compassion, has no feeling for anyone, this person might be very smart, but this person will have no feeling for others, not even to help other people. This person will also not be able to cultivate, to become a good person. Because this person thinks that nobody is as wise as him. He has no intention to talk to those people that are foolish or stupid. He or she has no intentions to help them as well. So wisdom and compassion cannot be separate out. We have to practice these two together. So the ethical conduct Shila, based on love and compassion, are included in 3 factors of the Noble Eightfold Path, namely the right speech, right action, and right livelihood. So we start with the right speech. Right speech is wholesome verbal karma, and also refer to 4 of the 10 wholesome actions. Refraining from dishonest speech, divisive speech, harsh speech, and idle chatter. Right speech is to refrain from all careless, slanderous, arrogant, scolding, insulting, mean, flattering, and untrue words. This is why right speech is known as words that are both right and true. When the Buddha taught the Dharma, his words were all true, immutable, and directed towards helping people awaken. This is the right speech. So, what is right speech? We make it in a simple way. The speech that comes out from our mouth will not harm other people, will not hurt other people, will not mislead other people, will not discourage other people, will not cause anger to other people. So any speech, any words that comes out from our mouth, we have to really think about it. Are we hurting other people? Are we creating misunderstanding and hatred situation between other people and ourselves? Are we saying something that discourages people, disrespect to people? Are we creating an environment that causes people to quarrel? Are we saying something harsh, like scolding people? Are we saying something which is untruth, that flattering people? Means that praising that person, but it's not truth from our heart. So, what is the right speech that we should say out? The word of truth. These are the words that are truth, honest, and will not bring misunderstanding and harm to other people. Sometimes a truth things might bring harm to other people. It is true. But if we say it out, it might discourage that person. It might hurt that person. Do we want to say it? If it will hurt people, then think twice. Whether do you want to tell this person the truth? So sometimes when we say, we have to tell the truth, think about it. Will it hurt other people? The second, the word of compassion. These are the words that are kind, soft, and give others confidence. So compassion is that when we say something, we have to think that when I say this thing, will I give this person confidence? Give this person courage, that this person are able to move on or improve. When we say something kindness, do we have the intention that hope that this person will get better? Or we're just saying some kind things, but we will not help that person? Is this compassion? But if we want to let this person improve or correct his mistake in a compassion mind, then we have to apply with our wisdom is that how do we say it? How do we express it that we won't hurt that person and let that person understand what we were trying to let him or her know? So compassion, again, has to apply with wisdom. Think twice. Sometimes even think for a few days before you say something. And next, words of praise. These are the words that encourage people and bring them joy. This praise is not an untruthful praise. Untruthful means that this is not true, but because I want to praise this person, so I'm saying something to let this person happy. But this thing, when I say out, is not true. Then this is a right praise? No. So when we praise, we have to think about what is the intention. Of course, everyone likes to be praised. When people say good about us, we get very happy. But sometimes we ourselves know that it's not true. But we still feel happy. And when this person praises us, this person, is it really praise from the truth and from this person's heart? So praising has to come with a right intention. What is the intention of praising? If somebody really did something good, we say good words and praise this person, then it's the right praise. We are not saying something which is untruth. If this person did not do anything very good, and we want to encourage this person, we can use a wording whereby it's not bad this time, but you have a lot of room for improvement. This is also a praising from the heart, telling the truth. So, and the next one, the words that help and benefit others. When we say something that will bring help and benefiting others, this needs a lot of wisdom. It's just that we know that there's going to have a war. If we are able to convince both sides to reduce their hatred, hopefully to cease the war, this will benefit a lot of people by not needing to face the war. So we have the wisdom to look into the situation. If we can do something to help and benefit everyone, and we are in the conditions that we say something, it will really help, then why don't we say it? Helping others and benefiting others. So speech from our mouth is very important. One word or one sentence are able to create hatred among people, and even able to create a war, a fighting, a quarrel among people. Also, one word, one paragraph, one speech can cease the fight, cease the war. We can also benefit the whole society. So when we want to say something, we really have to think twice with what we want to say. And with this thinking, it has to apply with wisdom on the right view and right intention. Next, we are going to move to right action. Right action is behavior that is right and in accord with the truth. It is wholesome bodily karma, which include 3 of the 10 wholesome actions: not killing, not stealing, and not engaging in sexual misconduct. However, following this is just passively not committing unwholesome deeds. The active meaning of right action is to protect life, be compassionate, and give charity. So, when we talk about right action, if we say that right action means not to kill, not to steal, and not to engage in sexual misconduct, basically this is a passive way of I'm not going to commit to unwholesome deeds. It's a guideline to us. But we need to expand more. The Buddha just not want us to take care of ourselves. The Buddha wants us to what? Help other people as well. So when we take care of ourselves, at the same time, we also need to do something to other living beings, such as protecting the life of other beings, be compassionate to other beings, and to do charity that benefit other beings. Furthermore, the thesis on the stages of Yogacara practitioner says, in our lives, or in the pursuit of daily necessity, whether we are walking, standing, sitting, or reclining, if we can perform them with right thoughts, this is called right action. So our action, all our action, every day, whether we are walking, sitting, even sleeping, we have these right thoughts in our mind every minute, every second. Whatever we do should be always the right action. So this is a self-discipline type of lifestyle. So if we are able to cultivate a proper sleeping habit, diet, exercise, rest, and work habits, it will not just only improve our health and efficiency, but are also the main element for a happy family and a peaceful society. A lot of people doesn't like to hear about this word discipline or precepts. But just think in this way. If we sleep late, we eat a lot of junk food, we don't exercise, we don't give ourselves time to sleep, we stay till very late and we wake up very late. We have a very bad type of living style. Do you think that we will have a good health and also able to be efficiency in our work? Do you think that we will have a happy family? Do you think so? But if we are able to cultivate a healthy lifestyle, it's the time that we're supposed to sleep, we sleep. It's the time we're supposed to wake up. We wake up. We do not need to really eat only healthy food. We just need to eat food that is good for our health. We do not need to exercise the whole day, but arrange for half an hour every day to go out and walk and breathe some fresh air. So, this is very simple, but why can't a lot of people do it? Why can't they cultivate this good habit? And because the health is not that good, the frustration will arise, impatience will arise, and we might arise with a lot of wrong action. So right action has to come with the right thoughts. What is your view? What are you thinking? Is it right? We always say that when the sun rises, it's time for us to wake up. When the sun sets, it's nighttime. We might be able to do something, but don't stay too late. Our physical body, our organs needs to rest, but we refuse to let it rest, and that's why we get sick. We eat a lot of junk food, and that's why we get sick. So this is something from ourselves. Did we treat ourselves well? Did we have a right action to our own body, ourselves? If we are able to discipline ourselves, then we have the right positions to help others, protect others, compassion, and do charity to help other people. And the last one of this moral ethics is the right livelihood. Right livelihood refers to the right occupation and right ways to make a living. According to the thesis on the stages of Yogacara practitioner, following the Dharma in our pursuit of clothing, food, and other items, or staying away from all the ways of living that give rise to unwholesomeness is right livelihood. Having a moral profession in life is extremely important because most unwholesomeness comes from doing things that harm others and ourselves. Occupations such as working in a gambling establishment or dealing drugs or arms are not example of right livelihood because they involve killing, stealing, lying, engaging in sexual misconduct, and selling intoxicant. So in here is that the way of making a living. There are many jobs in this world. Many jobs in this world. Some jobs will bring a lot of money to us, but they will bring a lot of harm to other people. Some jobs will not make us very wealthy, but they bring benefit to other people, such as the social worker. The social worker does not have a lot of money in their payroll. They do not have a high salary. But by helping people, they can benefit a lot of people. They can even save the life of a lot of people. A person that sells drugs, the person that sell guns. They might earn a lot of money, but actually they kill a lot of people because they sell it. That's why they have all these drugs and guns all around the people. Everybody can have drugs. The family will not be able to have a good family. People have guns. When a person lost their mind, they will use the gun to kill a lot of people. So all these drug dealers and these shops that sell guns basically bring a lot of harm to other people. So there are so many jobs in this world. It just depends on us whether are we greedy or we are not greedy. If we are not greedy, we earn enough to feed our family, to educate our kids, to live a normal life. Then we won't look for a job that will bring harm to other people. So again, the guideline for right occupation is not to bring harm to others and ourselves. If any jobs that bring harm to others, basically we have to prepare that we will receive the unwholesome karma because our occupation bring hurt, harm, negative energy to this society, and maybe even to your own children and family. So today we talk about the ethical conduct. And this ethical conduct, in general, it has to build in the concept of universal love and compassion for all beings. The Buddhas say that for the good of the many, for the happiness of the many, and out of compassion for the world. And in order to practice this ethical conduct, we must have two qualities that we need to bear in mind. One is the compassion on one side. The other is the wisdom on the other side. The compassion represents love, charity, kindness, tolerance, and noble qualities of the emotional side, the qualities of heart. While wisdom stands for the intellectual side or the qualities of the mind. If one only has the emotional and neglect the intellectual, one may become a good-hearted fool. Well, if one only developed the intellectual side and neglect the emotional side, may turn into a hard-hearted intellect without feeling for others people. Therefore, to practice, we need to balance both wisdom and compassion. And these two cannot be separated out. And we talk about the ethical conduct. It involves right speech, right action, and right livelihood. Right speech is wholesome verbal karma. And it should be refrained from dishonest speech, harsh speech, and careless speech, arrogant, scolding, insulting, mean, flattering, and untrue words. We should have the words of truth, the words of compassion, the words of praise, and the words that bring help and benefit to others. The next is the right action. Right action is behavior that is right and in accordance with the truth. In self-cultivation is called it not killing, not stealing, and not engaging into sexual misconduct. But in an active action is to protect life, be compassionate, and also involved in charity, benefiting other people. And the last is the right livelihood. Right livelihood refers to the right occupation, right way to make a living. An occupation that will not bring harm to people and to ourselves, and also will not just benefit ourselves and bring harm to other people. So any of the occupation that bring harm is a wrong livelihood. So today we discuss about this ethical conduct, and next week we will talk about this mental development. And hopefully in next week, when we talk about the right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration, it will give us some ideas on how to discipline our mind. So thank you very much for tonight, and I will see all of you next week. 阿弥陀佛。